Hello, my
Hi.
name is Allison. What's your name?
I'm Jessica.
Jessica, nice to meet you. What brings you here today?
Well, I'm coming in because, my parents have been worried about me and stuff. Basically, I had this boyfriend for a little while, and, he's not in my normal group of friends. He's, like, pretty popular, and, I don't know, like, we've been going out for probably, like, 6 months, and I really like him, and I have really strong feelings for him, and, I don't know, I think maybe I like him more than he likes me, and, I don't know, I mean, normally I'm good with concentrating on my schoolwork, and I'm in band, and I play sports, and do all kinds of stuff, but lately it's just been, like, really hard for me to, like, concentrate on any of that stuff, because I spend a lot of time just worrying about, like, the relationship and where it's gonna go.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that, you seem like a very smart, intelligent student. You're involved in many things. You have a lot of great interests. And it's also great that it sounds like you found someone that you like. So it sounds like you have a lot going on, a lot of positive things going on right now.
Yeah.
But I'm also hearing that you feel like your relationship is causing distractions from other things.
Yeah, I mean, like, when we first started dating, like, everything was fine, and it's not like we fight a lot or anything. I mean, we have a good relationship. But, like, I'm normally really busy and stuff, and then, I started to spend a little more time with him, and for a while I felt like I was, like, balancing it pretty well and stuff, like my relationship and schoolwork, and then, like, at school I started having trouble, like, we hang out with different crowds, like, I hang out with a lot of the, like, I don't know, I guess people would call them different things, but kind of like smart kids, like the kids who, like, are overachievers, and he hangs out with a lot of the more popular, like, athletes and stuff, and I think, like, a while back he told me that he made a joke, or at least he said it was a joke, about how his friends, like, tease him because he's dating, like, a complete brainiac, and I mean, I didn't think anything of it at the time, like, it didn't really bother me that much, but then, we would start hanging out, and, like, when I would choose schoolwork over hanging out with him, and it wasn't even, like, a choice, I mean, I had to, right, like, I have to do well to get into college, he would kind of make me feel bad that I was picking schoolwork, and he would end up, like, going out with his friends, and then sometimes at school he would, like, say things to me about, you know, not wanting to, do stuff that he likes to do, like, we all go out to the movies, and we'll go to the mall and stuff like that, and, sometimes go into the city, but, like, I don't drink, or at least I didn't, and, his friends kind of, like, smoke pot, and some of them get in trouble. He doesn't really, like, he's, kind of, like, a straight arrow, I guess, but, like, I feel like I don't really fit in with them, and I've been wondering, like, I just feel myself, like, at night, like, when I'm supposed to be doing schoolwork or when I'm trying to go to sleep, I end up thinking about, like, does he really even care about me at all? Or, like, is this just, I don't know, I worry that he, like, secretly hates me, or that he doesn't really care about me.
That must be really hard. It sounds like, I mean, I think it's difficult for anyone to feel like their partner might not be feeling the same feelings that you're feeling. So I can imagine that would, be really easy to sort of let consume you and kind of get in the way of other things. So that must be really difficult. What types of things can you think of a time where you and your boyfriend where you both just felt really secure, and can you just think of a time where your boyfriend was making you feel that way?
Yeah, like, in the beginning of the relationship, so, like, maybe a few months ago, like, the first couple months we were dating, he would, like, come over, to my parents' house, to my house, and we'd, like, sometimes, like, study together and, like, watch a movie, and my parents are pretty overprotective, and, You know, but we would kind of like hang out, and I felt like he was really supportive of, like, you know, he would tell me how smart I am and like how pretty I am, and tell me that he liked the fact that I wasn't like other girls, like I wasn't just kind of like obsessed with my looks, like there's more to me than that. And you know, I felt really good about that for a while, and obviously like I wanted to show interest in like the things that he likes, so I would go to his hockey games, and I'd go out with like him and his friends into the city sometimes. And you know, for a while it really felt like he cared about me a lot and wanted to spend time with me, and I don't really know what happened. I mean, it doesn't feel that way anymore. Like, it's kind of hard.
I can imagine. But it sounds like, you know, you like really enjoy the time that you have with him, like when you're hanging out and everything. Like it sounds like you're enjoying yourself, but it also sounds like, you sort of have like, he has this peer group that might be a little bit judgmental of your relationship.
Yeah.
You mentioned how they might poke fun because like you're, quote unquote smart, or a nerd or something like that, some sort of stereotypical thing. And that must be really hard to hear, but I'm wondering if your boyfriend feels, I mean, is your boyfriend able to sort of like separate himself from that? Like, has he ever made you feel insecure in that way?
Well, not at first, like, because his friends like didn't really make those remarks in the beginning, like, or at least if they did, I didn't know about it, because we would all hang out and they seemed like really nice to me and everything, but like, he never told me that they were saying things like that. It was mostly just, my own insecurity in the beginning, I guess, like. But then like a couple months back, I started studying for SATs, and he's supposed to be doing that too, and I started like taking a prep course on the night that we would normally hang out, like a date night, I guess, and there was no other day I could do it because my parents need to drive me there sometimes and stuff. So I kind of like not like pulled away, like I still wanted to be with him, and I tried to make other times, but he's really busy with hockey and stuff. And then at that point, like, that was when he started making comments about me, like choosing school over him. And we went out one time with all of his friends, and I had to leave early because I had a test the next day, a practice test, and I remember I was walking out the door, we were all like grabbing like milkshakes and burgers and fries, and I was leaving, and I heard one of them like kind of call after me, like say something. I wasn't sure like if they were talking to me, but then as I like shut the door to the restaurant, I heard this huge laugh, like all of them just started laughing, and I knew they were talking about me. I just had like a feeling. And the next day, after my test, I went and talked to him in the hall after school, and we were just kind of like walking around, and I mean, I didn't like confront him, but I asked him, like, I said, do you feel like your friends hate me, or like that your friends don't like me? And he's like, well, I care about you, and he's like, but you're always doing school stuff now, and you don't really like seem to want to do the things that I want to do. And I said, did you like tell them that? Have you been like talking about me badly? And he said, no. He said, but but like they notice, they know who you are, like we all have our little groups and stuff, and they know that you're one of the like smart kids, and you kind of aren't like, that you're different a little bit. And I got pretty upset and like started to cry, and he gave me a hug, but then he like kind of ran off and had to go. And I mean, I don't feel like he like, I don't know if he like plays into the stuff that they say, and I don't know what he says to them about me, and I'm feeling like I used to trust that he cared about me and would always like stick up for me, but now I'm feeling like he might be more like not even wanting to be with me anymore. Like he says he does, but I don't really feel it. Does that make any sense?
Makes sense, yeah. No, and Well, and I want to say that I think that, you know, you taking the step to actually like confront him and approach him about how you're feeling is a really, really positive thing. Like, it sounds like you sort of like knew sort of what the right decision was in that, and it sounds like you didn't really need anybody to tell you that, which is great. It shows that, you know, it sounds like you're like a strong-willed person, and it sounds like you know, weren't just going to let it kind of get swept under the rug, and I think that the first step is to confront him and express your feelings to him, and you did that, so I commend you for that. And it must be, you know, really difficult, especially because it sounds like at the beginning, like, everything was sort of like a honeymoon phase, but now, you know, you seem to be having some doubts about how sincere he's being. I guess I hear you saying you feel like he might be sort of chiming in with his friends when it comes to, you know, some of the comments that they've been making about you. It sounds like you're wondering, well, does he feel this way? Is he listening to them? Is he, you know, is he not 100% into this relationship like I am? So that can be a really difficult thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, I think that the first step is communication, and you did that. And obviously, you know, it sounds like the outcome wasn't perfect, because it sounds like, you know, he did stop and listen, but then you mentioned that he kind of took off and sort of went about his business. So it sounds like you were looking for a little bit more from that encounter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was looking for really, but I guess I just kind of expected that, like, I mean, he and I, like, we like laugh and joke a lot together, and we have fun, so I think, you know, we have the same sense of humor. I think maybe he thinks, like, we don't have, like, serious talks a lot. You know, we've never, I mean, aside from, like, when we decided we were boyfriend and girlfriend, we haven't had any, like, serious conversations. So I think kind of, like, maybe he was, like, caught off guard or surprised. But then I also think, like, when I said, you know, when I said what I said to him and asked him about, you know, told him how I was feeling and asked him if his friends had been making fun of me, like, maybe he was, like, I don't know, being, like, a little defensive or something, because normally he's, like, you know, I'll sometimes come to him with problems about, like, I don't know, my parents, because they're really, like, overprotective and stuff, and, you know, a lot of the time, like, they don't like to let me go out and do stuff, you know, so when I tell him about other things in my life, he's usually really, like, understanding and helpful. But this is the first time I've ever had, like, a problem with anything that he did, like, a major one anyway. So I think maybe, I feel like it's my fault. Like, maybe I should have just, like, waited till we were out of school and, like, more private. I mean, there was really no one around, but, you know, like, maybe if we had been, like, outside or, like, hanging out together as opposed to, like, in between classes, that maybe, you know, maybe it would have gone better. I feel like it's my fault, pretty much.
Well, I'm thinking that, you know, if you had a feeling that something was wrong and you felt like you wanted to get it off your chest, I think that, you know, it sounds like you just kind of went with your first instinct. You didn't, you know, confront him in front of all of his friends. You didn't, you know, choose to have the conversation in really, like, a very public setting where other people could hear. I mean, I think that you know, it sounds like that you felt that it was the right time. So, you know, it sounds like, in a sense, I think that you made the best decision for yourself in that moment by confronting him, rather than, you know, sort of sweeping it under the rug and then letting it linger, and then it possibly turning it into a bigger issue.
But I feel like he's mad at me now. Like, I mean, this happened, like, last week, and we've only seen each other outside of school once since then, and, you know, we used to see each other a few times a week, and then it's been more like 2 times, like, since I've been studying for the SATs, and, you know, we only saw each other once since then, and he kind of, like, avoids me now a little bit, like, not, like, really avoids me, like, he'll still give, you know, say hi in the morning, give me a kiss or whatever, but he doesn't answer my texts as often, and, like, I see him with his friends more after that, and, like, that's what hurts, because, like, if he knows that I had a problem or was worried about his friends making fun of me, and he kind of, like, I mean, he didn't, like, confirm that they were, but in a way he did, because he said, like, well, yeah, you know, they know that you're different, you know, you're in a different group than us, and, you know, so he basically, like, confirmed what I was thinking, and now he's spending more time with him. Like, how am I supposed to know that he cares about me? Like, how am I supposed to know that he still wants to be with me when he's not really showing it that much?
I can imagine that would create a lot of anxiety for you, because
Yeah.
like you said, it sounds like he seems to be acting one way in front of, you know, in front of his peers and friends, and then, but telling you something else. They sort of seem to, his actions and his words seem to contradict each other a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the problem lately. Like, I've been feeling, like, really depressed, probably for, like, maybe a month, I would say, about this. Like, it's hard for me to sleep at night sometimes, not every night, but, like, I'll do my homework and then I'll go to bed and I'll just, like, kind of, like, lay there, and usually I fall asleep. I'll put, like, headphones on, it helps, but, like, lately, like, all I can do is just kind of think about, like, oh, like, is he out with his friends right now? Are they laughing about me? Or, like, I'll think about, because, like, summer break is coming soon, and, you know, sometimes I go away with my parents and he goes away with his, and we all do, like, different stuff over the summer, and, you know, next year's our senior year, and, you know, I'm, like, worried that he won't want to be with me anymore. And I mean, it's not like I, like, want to marry him or anything, but I do want to keep being with him, and, you know, I feel good being with somebody that, you know, everyone else kind of, like, admires and looks up to. And, like, I guess I'm just starting to feel like I don't really matter to him, and maybe I don't really matter at all. Like, I'm smart, like, so what? Plenty of people are smart, you know, like, maybe there's really nothing, like, even that good about me.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you just outright said a good thing about you. You just validated that you are a smart person. So it sounds like, you know, you want to sort of live up to these expectations of other people, but then I also feel as though you're completely aware of your positive attributes. You just said you're smart. What is your long-term goal for yourself? What do you see yourself doing 5 to 10 years from now?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm really, really, really interested in, like, biology and biochemistry, and one of my uncles works in a lab, and he's, like, an environmental scientist, and at first I was thinking about, like, pre-med, but I kind of want to have a life, you know, and people who are pre-med don't really have a life a lot of the time. One of my cousins does that, and he, like, never sees the light of day. So I think I'm thinking about maybe, like, you know, getting my bachelor's and then getting my master's and working in a lab, and you know, I really like playing music a lot. Like, I play in band, and I just play flute in band, but I mean, I play guitar at home a lot, and, you know, like, I've been thinking recently about doing, like, an open mic, like, playing guitar, and I like to write and, you know, do some creative stuff, and so I guess I would see myself, like, you know, hopefully, like, finishing up my education and, you know, getting a really good job, and I kind of want to travel a little bit too. Like, my parents don't have, like, a ton of money, and, you know, the school I go to, a lot of kids have a lot of money, and so they're always going on, like, these fun trips, and I kind of would love it to, like, take, I don't know, maybe take, like, 6 months or a year and, like, go around the world.
Wow, it sounds like you have a lot of great aspirations and goals. And, you know, and I think that definitely comes from a place where, you know, I think that you have to sort of have, like, good self-esteem and confidence to be able to sort of set those goals for yourself. So what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from you is that you are a confident person, but it just sounds like you're, you know, unintentionally letting someone else make you feel otherwise.
Well, I mean, I think I've always kind of, like, felt a little different, you know, like, I've always been, like, one of the, like, smart kids in school, and, you know, I don't know, I mean, sometimes I feel like nobody really, like, sees the other sides of me and stuff, you know, and, you know, no one, like, thinks of me as, like, oh, like, she's a really good writer, or, like, oh, she's, like, an awesome guitar player, you know, and I do sports too, and I'm kind of like average at that. I'm like not the best athlete, but like not the worst, in track and softball and stuff. And I don't know, I guess sometimes I feel like being smart is like the only thing that I have, you know, and I, like a lot of my friends are like, you know, have like better bodies and stuff, and I like look at the girls, especially like the girls in Damien, that's my boyfriend's name by the way, in Damien's group, like they're all like have either like blonde or like highlighted hair, and they all go tanning, and they're all like, they all wear like really tight, like short little outfits and stuff, and like there's nothing wrong with that, but I dress a little more like a hippie and kind of like, you know, I have my own style or whatever, and like you could definitely tell me apart from them, and that we hang out with different crowds. And sometimes I feel like if, like I think about like maybe if I made some changes, like if I like lost a little weight or wore like clothes that would like emphasize like my boobs or my butt or something like that, you know, as opposed to like flowy dresses, like maybe, you know, if I looked more like what he wants me to look like or what I think he wants me to look like, then maybe that would fix this. I just feel like really like that's all I can think about these days.
And when you say fix this, do you mean like, do you feel like you would get more attention from him, that he would like to be around you more and include you in more with his friends?
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, he keeps saying the problem is, or like acting like the problem is that I do too much, like, that isn't with him, like, that I'm studying too much. But we only spend a little less time together than we used to. So I feel like, I mean, it's not like I think like he's cheating on me or anything, but he does have a lot of like female friends, and they all kind of look like really similar and wear similar clothes and like brand names and stuff. And maybe if, I don't know, maybe if I like did something different physically, like that would maybe take his mind off and like make me think, or make him think that that I'm more like I fit in with him more, like I fit in with him and his friends. Because like right now, like I am different, you know, I have different hobbies and interests, and I look different. And maybe if I mean I can't change who I am, like I can't like be dumb or like be interested in different stuff, but I can like, you know, maybe dress different or like look different, and maybe that would help. You know, maybe he would be more interested.
Yeah, no, I'm hearing that you're feeling like who you are isn't really good enough, and you feel like if you were to enhance aspects of your physical appearance, you're thinking that that would make a difference in the long term.
Mhm.
So you think that he would be more invested in the relationship?
Mhm.
Okay. Have you been in a relationship before, Damien?
Sort of, not really. I mean, like, I've dated girls, and he doesn't really know that. Like, my first girlfriend went to another school. She lived in a different town, like, kind of far from here, like a half hour away. So, I mean, he doesn't really know about that. But this is like the first boyfriend that I've had. So,
What would happen if he knew? Do you think that that would change things?
I mean, like, he's not like homophobic or anything, you know. He's not, even with guys, like there's plenty of gay guys at our school, so it's not like a big deal or anything. But I feel like the girls in my school, like the girls who like date girls are like lesbians, like they're definitely like lesbians, and it's like it's known that that's how they are. And like, but the girls who like say they're bi are mostly girls who like make out with girls when they get drunk. And like, I don't really, I mean, there's a like a gay straight alliance, and I'm not in it, but I like hang out with a lot of the people from there sometimes, because a lot of them are like interested in the same stuff, like music and writing. And I feel, I've never heard him say anything bad about like anyone that's gay, lesbian, transgender, whatever, but I do think that he would look at me differently, because the girls that he and I both know that like say that they're bi are kind of like, I don't want to say slutty, but like, let's just say they wouldn't go out with a girl, you know, like I had like a relationship with a girl, like these girls don't, they date guys and then when they're drunk they'll like make out with each other for attention and stuff, and I definitely don't want to be seen that way. I have no problem being seen as like bi, but I do have a problem with like someone thinking that I'm gonna go like just make out with somebody. Like the guys that he hangs out with like think that's really like sexy and stuff, but I'm not like that at all.
Okay. So, what do you think, if you were to see your boyfriend, you know, within the next couple of hours, what would that look like? Like, would that involve going over to his house and hanging out? Like, what's a typical sort of like activity for you guys, or the set, like a typical setting for you?
Well, it's Thursday, and like that used to be like one of our like date nights. We'd hang out like Thursdays and Saturdays. I have my like SAT thing now, but like normally when we would hang out, like usually would like go grab some food, and then sometimes like he used to play baseball, he doesn't anymore, but like, you know, would go like take the bat out and just like, you know, pitch to each other and kind of like get a little competitive and like silly and just goof off. Then we like to take like long walks and stuff, or like go to the movies. Like we both really like horror movies, so maybe we'd go see a movie or something. Or maybe go to a concert if it was the weekend. It really just depends on how strict my parents are being on any given day, I guess, because they can be really a block to me having fun sometimes, or doing like anything normal teenagers do.
I guess that's understandable that they seem to, you know, care about your safety. It sounds like pretty typical parents in that sense. How do your parents feel about your relationship?
Well, I mean, they've never been like too excited about me dating. I mean, my dad's a cop, and he pretty much thinks any guy who wants to get with me is a scumbag. But they think Damien's a pretty nice guy. My mom, I don't think likes him that much, really. I don't think either one of them really like him that much, but they like to say they do. Like, I think they maybe, you know, they don't like disapprove of him as in like he's a bad person, but I think that they think he's wrong for me. And like the other day, you know, I was like upset when I came home from, I've been upset like a lot lately coming home, and my mom like knocked on my door to go like take me out shopping, and you know, I was crying, and she came up to me and gave me a hug and asked me what was wrong, and you know, I kind of told her like what I've been thinking about, and you know, she said, you know, are you sure he's good for you? And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, you know, you used to be happy a lot in the beginning, and you know, we can understand that your grades slipped like a tiny bit, you know, but you're still getting like mostly A's, so, you know, but now it seems like you're sad a lot more, you're not as happy as you used to be, and you know, you're spending a lot more time like by yourself, like less time with your friends. And I mean, she's right, like that is true, but I guess I don't think he's bad for me. I mean, like, I feel more like, I don't know, not popular, but I feel like more like I get more attention for being with him. You know, like people don't just like dismiss me.
So it sounds like you're getting more attention from being with him and sort of being present in that popular group. You know, it sounds like you're getting more attention for that than the attention that you were getting for being smart and you know, academic
it's
achievement.
like different kind of attention, like different people would give that attention, you know, like my teachers and stuff. I mean, they still like me, you know what I mean? Now, I mean, I have like a popular boyfriend and everything, and like it's like I get the attention for being smart, and I get attention for hanging out with that group, you know, and like I feel like if we weren't together anymore, I mean, like his friends are nice to me and everything, mostly, and the girls in that group are okay, they're not like my favorite, but I feel like I would have no reason to be friends with those people if he and I were to break up. Like, we just don't have like all the same things in common, you know, and like I just don't think that they would want to talk to me anymore. because he's their friend. You know, I'm not their friend. I'm Damien's girlfriend.
And what kinds of things do you have in common with Damien?
Well, we both are pretty athletic. I mean, I concentrate more on, like, you know, academics and, like, music and stuff than he does, but we both like to be, like, outdoors and, you know, go hiking and, like, you know, toss the ball around a bit, and, like, you know, we're both, like, competitive, so it's nice. We'll, like, kind of, like, joke around and, like, make little bets with each other, and we both really like horror movies, and, like, we'll go see the stupidest, goofiest, like, gory, like, non-realistic, it's just, like, so bad that you can't believe it, but, you know, we both like to watch those, and he's really funny, and he's kind of like a class clown, like, always making people laugh, and I like that, like, I feel, at least I used to feel like he really, like, supported me, like, with schoolwork and stuff, like, he was really interested in me and, like, the fact that I was smart. He doesn't talk about it as much anymore, like, he doesn't compliment me as much, but, I mean, we're just both, like, goal-oriented people. Like, he has goals for his life, like, he wants to play college football, and, you know, he's also really smart, although he doesn't, like, it's not as big of a part of how people see him as it is for me. But we're both, you know, we just have similar interests.
Sounds like you do have a lot in common, and it just sounds like the biggest, it sounds like what you're saying, and, you know, based on everything that you've told me, is that it seems like the major difference that you have is your peer group, essentially. It's who you hang out with. Does he hang out, or socialize or associate with any of your friends from your particular peer group? Do they get along with him?
No. You know, I never really even thought about that before you mentioned it. Like, it's not like he hates them, and he doesn't really make fun of them or anything. I mean, it's not like that at all, but, like, we never go out, with my friends. Like, we don't, like, I'll go out with his friend group a lot. You know, like, once a week or something, we'll all go do something together at the mall, or, like, you know, go eat together as a big group, you know, socialize or whatever, but, like, you know, my friends, like, they're like hippies. They'll go to, like, poetry nights, and, like, sometimes we'll, like, get together and, like, play, like, goofy board games and stuff, and, you know, he doesn't really, like, make an effort to get to know them. Like, last week, actually, or I'm sorry, a couple weeks ago, one of my friends who, like, she's kind of, like, really nerdy. Like, she's not, like, in my friend group really, but she's someone that I like, and, you know, we have, like, we both play guitar, so sometimes we'll, like, goof off together and, like, jam out. She doesn't have a lot of classes with, like, either one of us. We barely see her, but he knows about her. I talk about her a lot. Her name's Alicia, and we passed by her in the hall, and he's like, "Hey, Felicia," and I just kind of, like, looked at him, and he, like, smiled at me, and I was like, you know her name, you know what I mean? Like, you know her name's Alicia. And she wasn't upset. Like, I could tell she was, like, whatever, you know, just kind of, like, irritated by it, but, like, didn't want to show it. And later on, she's like, "Was he making fun of me, or does he really not know my name?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so then I asked him, and I said, "You know her name, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "She's freaking weird. I was just trying to mess with her." And, I mean, it wasn't, like, completely malicious, but, like, he didn't seem to, like, why not just call her by her name? You know what I mean? So the fact that, like, he knows who she is, and he's never spent time with her, so he doesn't have any reason to, like, want to, like, be, you know, rude, or it was hard for me to tell if he was, like, just trying to be legitimately, like, funny, or if he was, like, trying to, like, cut her down or annoy her.
And did you ask him about it?
No, I didn't. Like, when I talked to him last week about were his friends making fun of me, like, that's the first time I've had any talk like that with him. And mostly I just, like, keep it to myself, because I don't want to cause problems.
Okay. But do you feel like by not talking about the problems, do you feel as though that's going to make things better or worse, or what's the easiest thing to do in that situation?
I think the easiest thing to do is to not say anything about it. I mean, it's like a situation where like I'm afraid that if I were to have a conversation with him and like be more direct about those little things that happen, and they don't happen a lot, but often enough for me to feel kind of like, well, he doesn't really care. I feel like he might think I'm like causing problems or like being too emotional or whatever, and you know, he always says, he's like, oh, I love how like chill you are, or at least he used to say that, like, I love that you're like chill and don't want to like cause problems or drama, and you know, I feel like if I were to say something about that, like, you know, more than that one time that I did, that it wouldn't go that well, and that maybe he would find one more reason to not want to be with me, because he's already like, you know, upset that I don't hang out with him as often as I should, I guess, or supposed to. So I feel like it would cause problems, and it's just easier for me to just not say anything at all.
I can understand that. Sometimes confrontation can be very challenging. You know, and I think sometimes we think that when we confront people in the moment, they're going to be upset with us, and you think that it sort of might become, you know, a bigger issue than it needs to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also hearing you saying that when you don't talk about these things, it creates sort of lingering thoughts and kind of intrusive thoughts about sort of like where you stand in the relationship. So
yeah.
So it sounds like you're aware of sort of the pros and cons of confronting or not confronting. But it also sounds like you know, overall you seem pretty good about trusting your instincts. Like you said, I remember you a few minutes ago saying that, you know, you confronted him.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I'm also hearing you saying that you didn't confront him in the moment when he made that comment about your friend. So, you know, it sounds like you've been in different positions so far throughout the relationship where you've been able to confront him, but then there are times when you sort of let it kind of swept it under the rug, which makes sense in some ways, because obviously we don't want to, you know, it sounds like you don't want to create any additional problems.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it sounds like you're relatively happy in the relationship. Is that accurate to say?
Well, I mean, I was for a really long time, you know, and I guess I would say what's more accurate is like I want to be happy in the relationship.
Okay, that's really important.
Because I just wanted to be like it was like a few months ago. Like, because I didn't used to worry about him liking me or wanting to be with me, and you know, even though I knew we had like some differences with our friend groups, I wasn't like thinking about it a lot. And you know, the little comments that he would make about me and how I spend my time, and you know, kind of like little minor things that like, you know, would seem minor at the time, but like lately, like the last month or two, I've been thinking about it, and it seems like it's more and more of a problem, and like less and less of a random comment. And like, do I like love him and care about him? Like, yeah, but am I like really happy right now? No, like I'm not, you know.
Well, that's a really important thing to say. The fact that you are able to kind of determine like where you stand in the relationship. Do you feel as though you would be happier without him in some ways?
Like, that's the thing. I don't really think so. I mean, high school is a tough place to be, and like, it's just hard. Yeah, it's really hard. And I mean, I've always been someone like I care about what people think of me in some ways, and I don't in other ways. And like, you know, this is like right before summertime, and like I think about like, you know, I might, like, if the relationship ended now, like, I feel like, you know, my summer would probably be pretty boring, and then I'd be like anxious about going back to school, and like, you know, my friends are kind of upset that like, you know, he never hangs out with us or whatever, so I don't see them as much, and you know, I worry like my friends wouldn't like want me to hang out with them a lot again because they feel like I just kind of like not ditch them, but you know, I see less of them. And then I know his friends would probably go back to just not talking to me, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I kind of like belong, you know. I feel like with him, like everything's pretty like well-rounded, you know, like I feel like I can be like everything I am, you know. But
well, that's what I'm hearing, is that you feel as though you're still able to kind of maintain, you know, being able to like achieve academically, and you're able to still see your friends every now and then, and you're able to sort of still engage in the things you like, but also still be with him. So it sounds like you're saying that being with him and, you know, and the fact that you're able to continue on with the life that you had before, you're sort of getting the best of both worlds with him.
yeah, for now.
For now.
I mean, the biggest problem is like, I mean, I'm not stupid. Like, he wants to play college football. You know what I mean? Like, when we go away to school, like, you know, to college or whatever, like, maybe we'll stay together. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Very unknown.
But, you know, my problem is, like, you know, he's gonna go off and, like, do his own thing, and I'm gonna go off and do my own thing. But for, like, the next year, it's, like, hard to think about what it would be like if we weren't together. But at the same time, like things are suffering. Like, you know, my mom like saw me crying the other night. Like, I kind of realized. And then even what you said just now about, you know, you had mentioned, you know, does he hang out with your friends, or do you hang out with your friends with him? And I kind of realized, like, I don't know, like, I put a lot of effort into things. Like, I doubt he's sitting at home at night thinking, oh, maybe I should, like, you know, read some Douglas Adams so I can hang out with her nerdy friends. You know, like, I'm thinking about, like, oh, what can I change? Like, can I, like, look more like the girls that he's friends with? You know, I doubt he's doing that for me. Like, actually, I know he's not, you know? I mean, he's very, like, this is who I am, these are my friends, this is what life is like, and I'm, like, spending tons of time thinking about what I can do different. So, like, I don't know, I don't think that's, like, it's not really, like, how I want to feel. It's
yeah,
like,
and that goes back to sort of what we touched upon before about how you're feeling as though you're more invested in the relationship than he is, and you know, you're very vocal, and you're doing a great job verbalizing everything about this relationship, about the things that you enjoy, about the things you don't enjoy, and it sounds like you know, really are completely capable and of, you know, of sound mind to be able to make the decision about your future and deciding what is going to make you happy. I think the important thing is to think about your long-term happiness, and you were able to verbalize, you know, a lot of things that make you happy, and, you know, some of the things about the relationship that don't make you happy, but everything you said, you know, there's things in there that you know, need to think about in order to make the best decision for you, because you're the only, you know, your happiness and well-being are the most important thing.
Yeah. I guess I have some decisions to make soon. You know, I want to stay with him, but I also don't want to keep feeling this way. And, mostly I just want to feel confident, like, going into the summer, and, like, I want to try and, like, get to a place where I don't have to be worried about this all the time. You know, I want to feel like I can enjoy myself this summer and not be, like, so anxious all the time about, like, how he feels about me, you know?
So what I'm hearing is you're really motivated to make some changes, and we don't really know what those changes are going to be. That's ultimately your decision. But, you know, it sounds like that you're mature enough and smart enough to be able to make the decision that's best for you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
No, I think I know what I need to do, and I need to maybe spend some more time kind of, like, evaluating, like, I guess if this is really the thing that I need to be putting so much time into right now. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing you again, and I look forward to hearing how that turns out.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.